Alright my friends, I'm standing on what used to be the banks of the Stage Pond, a large body of fresh water that gave rise to the little town that was right here of about 250 people. I'll get more into the history as we get into this. Unfortunately, as you can see, the pond is now filled in with mostly trees. The water is receded pretty far back. I'll see if I can find a location where I can actually see some of the water, but for the most part, this is what it looks like, dried up. The town went away in the 1920s, and we're gonna go and see what we can find that's left of it. Welcome back to the journey, my friends. Alright my friends, so you can see right here is a pretty good sized oak tree. Right back here is another one. And then through the woods in here is another one. Kind of gives me an idea that either a homestead or some sort of business was in this area right here. Now for those of you who don't know what I mean when I say homestead, back in the early days, the US government would give people land if they lived and cultivated the area for 5 years, and then it would become theirs. So when I say homestead, that's what I mean. Now in Florida, they also had a thing where if you cultivated so many acres of land for so long of a time, then you were granted like 160 acres. I went over that in Trilby, in the video of Trilby. Now what's interesting here is, as I've been walking around in the woods, I've noticed there's little pieces of whatever this place used to be. I'll show you in a second, but there's some bricks over there. But I saw this right here. This is definitely an old piece of metal. I have my little personal wand detector here, and you can see that's definitely some sort of a metal bracket or brace for something. So it makes me wonder what else is all covered up in the leaves and stuff here. But like I was saying, I noticed those trees, so I started kind of walking through this area, because that usually is a dead giveaway for an old property, or homestead as they called it. And actually one of the first things that caught my eye was this dip right here. And then I noticed a bunch of old bricks. There's a bunch in here, scattered out throughout here. A bunch more right there. And there's a big pile of them right here. So I'm not 100% sure what business or property was in this area, but there definitely was something that was in this area. Founded in the mid-1800s, Stage Pond was a thriving community as late as the 1920s. It was a waypoint on the main stagecoach line from Jacksonville to Homosassa. At its height in the 1880s, population was about 250 people. The town had 2 churches, a post office, a school, general store, an inn, a tavern, some turpentine stills, and a cemetery, all of which are gone now except the cemetery. The town thrived until the advent of the automobile, which in turn ended the stagecoach. With little other industry in the area, the town was deserted. Very strange piece of stone out here. Almost looks like it's a foot from a statue or something. And I notice over here, you see how it's mounded up? That's all stone and brick. There's pieces of stuff everywhere out here. So there must have been a building in this area too. Yeah, this whole mound right here is all like rocks and bricks. So something must have been standing here and got pushed over into a pile here. So once again, walking through the woods, I see a bunch of bigger oak trees. Decide to walk around them. And sure enough, there's evidence of man-made buildings being in this area as well. So when you look through here, all these little trees, those would have all been cleared out. And basically, trees about this size would be about all you would have in here. So there'd be about 7 trees back here. There's an old metal... the vines are trying to kill me. Old metal tin back here. So there's all sorts of evidence of humans living back here at one point. Not entirely sure what this business would have been, but you can almost see like a road built up right there. There's definitely a 4-foot embankment right there. Soft-shell turtle. This is alligator heaven right here. Most of this pond looks like it's filled in with sawgrass, lilies, all sorts of stuff. Definitely something over there too. Whole mess of rock around this place. Yeah, this is definitely like all rock rubble right here. I don't know if that's just a rubble pile or if that was built up for a reason. There's definitely a lot of remnants out here of, well, what the absolute F. That is not from the ghost town. What in the absolute F? That is just weird. Nobody's used it for a while. Somebody was out here though, drinking beer. This is right on the backside of where I was a little while ago. Just right over here, I think. Because here's that mounded up section again. Yeah, because I see that big metal can I found. So this must have been the general area of most of the town. Because from the lake coming this way, there's stuff everywhere. Yeah, there's that metal can again. And pretty much all the stuff that I'm finding back there in those piles and stuff are what they would use for foundation. Bricks and limestone boulders. All right, my friends, I just did some critical thinking as I was walking back out of the woods here. I know that's dangerous nowadays. I don't want you to think too hardly about things, but the mounted up section that I was seeing back there was a pretty straight line section. This was a waypoint on the Stagecoach Road from Homosassa to Jacksonville. The road that you can hear in the background right now, that's called West Stagecoach Road or something like that, but it's Stagecoach Road. And I highly doubt that the original Stagecoach Road would have ran through where the cemetery is and not run right through the middle of where town was. So I'm going to put myself out on a limb and say that section that I saw that was about 4 foot higher than where we were standing, I think that's where the coach line actually used to come through. Like I said, I highly doubt it was out here picking people up by the cemetery instead of right next to, I would assume, right next to the inn or one of those buildings. But you guys let me know if you think I'm right or wrong in the comments. Cactus getting ready to bloom. Alright, that's going to do it for the Daytime Explorer. The cemetery is right next to the road, and as you can hear, there's a decent amount of traffic, so we will just check that out tonight when there's no traffic. And also take a walk back here and see what we can capture. And I don't know. We'll see. Seems like a very interesting little area. I can't wait to see what the difference is when we come out here at night. And yeah, I'll see you in the darkness. All right, we are back. It is about 12:30 right now. Hello? That was a very weird noise I just heard coming over there. I don't know what that was. But as I was saying, I'm back. It's about 12:30 in the morning, and we're going to start off here in the cemetery for Stage Pond, see if we can't talk to some people here, and then I don't know what I'm hearing over there. Luckily this whole thing's fenced in, so if it's an animal out there, it's going to have a hard time getting in here. But if I'm brave enough after we do the cemetery here, I'm going to make my way back to the ghost town again and do a little bit of ghost hunting around the ghost town. But that is if I'm brave enough after this. There's some kind of bird or animal or something over there. So I've never been to the cemetery, not really sure exactly where the original graves are or the oldest graves or anything like that. I know a lot of these looked older, but some of these people were even born after the town went away. So we'll walk around, see what we hear, see if we see anything. I don't know exactly what type of, it's got to be some kind of bird or something, I would think. Hello, hello. My name is Jay. I don't mean anyone here any harm, any disrespect. I just came to meet you all and see if you had any stories from when Stage Pond was a thriving little town. It's a whole family and children. So sad. I'm sorry you lost all of your children. It is noticeably colder over on this side here. Is there someone over here that'd like to communicate with me? That bird does. I'm gonna run the Ovulus and see what responses we get. Anyone here that used to work for the stagecoach? Follow the white rabbit. I wonder if everybody's in town, because it is extra. Encounter? Am I about to encounter someone? How was I gonna say? It's like extra creepy in the woods going towards town, but in here seems really quiet. Who am I encountering?
Navy.
Maybe? I was just about to ask, are you all hiding back here in the woods? You don't have to be scared.
It's beautiful here.
It is beautiful here. I was here earlier today and I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. The birds were singing. You had a really nice lake. Minus this traffic going by, it's very quiet out here. Other than the random traffic going by here and there, which is crazy at it's 12:40 in the morning. But I really wish I could have seen what this looked like back in the day when it was all cleared out and the buildings. I bet it was really pretty here. Keep hearing noises back in there, but we're going to keep pushing forward.
Yes, it's me.
Yes, it's you? You're in the woods? Do you like to roam the woods? Will you tell me your name?
Ron.
Hi, Ron. Did you hear me earlier when I introduced myself as Jay? Nice to meet you, Ron. Ron, did you used to live back there in the town? These graves must be super old because they're like actually sunk into the ground. Hey Ron, can you tell me what you used to do?
Jess.
Hi Jess. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. It's nice to meet you. So this town of 250 people actually had two churches.
Lillian.
Hi Lillian. Very nice to meet all of you. What's interesting is this is getting more talkative the closer I get to what to me look like some of the older graves here. Yeah, here's someone that was born in 1879, born in 1845, and died in 1933. So you were one of the originals, Miss Elizabeth. Yeah, these 1849, 1926.
Died a long time ago.
You did die a long time ago. Almost 100 years now. It's a whole bunch of... These are like so old they don't even have... They just have a marker with the tin plate. But I noticed there is a... one over here with a bunch of decorations. Leslie. Whoa. I don't know.
Did you hear me?
Did I hear you? I don't think I heard you, but I think I saw you. I feel like I just saw like somebody walk by right there, like kind of stand up and walk that way into the woods. But it could have just been my eyes from looking down and looking back up. Can you say what you were saying again? I did read in my research that this Leggett, Leggett, they were one of the original families, as well as Faulkner.
Roberts.
And Roberts. I actually saw Roberts over there. Lisk is another one. So yeah, this must be the older part of the cemetery here. (1811 to 1887), Anne Elizabeth Clark. Looks like a... What was that? Did you guys just make a noise? Something made a noise over there. See what that was when I listened to this back. If you hear a sound that sounds like a zipper, it's not me doing my zipper. It's when I pull my flashlight out of my pocket, it makes that noise. So,
Amelia.
hi Amelia. Samuel Jackson. Here's another one of the founding families, Rogers. I was going to ask if it's okay to go visit your town. Is that where everybody else is?
Am I on video?
What? My camera is running right now, yes. Can you show yourself to me?
Can you play music?
Yes, I can play music for you. What kind of music do you want to hear? So I turn off my camera and I put on some music. Now I can't let you guys hear this, unfortunately, because I decided the first song I was going to play, I don't know what made me think of it, but I decided to put on some bluegrass music, and the first song that came on was Wagon Wheel, by the original Old Crow Medicine Show, not by Darius Rucker. But anyway, that's what I decided to put on because it's sort of an old-timey kind of song. I thought maybe that would help. It didn't seem to really get anything going that much, but I did get a response. I think they said, Lord. And then I remembered that this town had 2 churches, so I decided to put on some Christian music. While I was switching between the bluegrass music to the Christian music, I noticed a vehicle go by behind me. They were going westbound at the time. Now, as I'm messing around with my Pandora to get the music switched over, I hear what sounds like a very aggressive stop like tires chirp kind of, and then I hear a U-turn being made with someone standing on the gas pedal and the tires kind of making that squealing noise, but not like a burnout noise. And unfortunately, the music covered up what I was hearing at the time, but you can hear right here the engine racing as they come back east towards me.
What date is it?
It is March 5th, 4th, 2023. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't sure what was going on at this time, so I really was trying to struggle to keep my one camera filming, but get my other camera turned back on so I could film with that camera. And as I'm doing that, I noticed that this red car that had just gone by westbound made an aggressive U-turn and hauled butt back this way eastbound towards me. Decided to pull off the road, drive right next to my car, and then proceed to do circles around next to my car, behind my car, in front of my car. And at one point, I heard a noise that sounded like glass popping. So either they drove over a bottle or they did something to my car. And I was worried they did something to my car. So I checked my car and everything. I don't see anything wrong with it, so I don't think they did anything to my car. But I know from the way it looks on camera, a lot of you sitting at home on your couch are going to be like, what was he so worried about? Big deal, just keep going. However, take yourself by yourself and put yourself in this location. The road that I was off of, West Stagecoach Trail, is also known as the Florida Scenic Trail. It absolutely has no gas stations, no businesses, no nothing on it but houses and the state forest that it runs through, which is where I was at. So in either direction, you're not really going anywhere. It's a scenic drive. Most of the people I see going by, I would assume, are people that live on one of the farm ranches, or there is some like 3-4 acre style properties that aren't farms, but they're not like, it's not like a housing development. You know what I mean? It's just property out there. But there's no even Circle K anywhere to be found anywhere near this place. So for someone to be on that road at night, in my opinion, they have to be going to work or coming home from work or going to a friend's house. So for someone to do what they did at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm out there by myself. You'll see at one point I lock my door just to turn my headlights on and maybe scare them away. And instead that makes them do another U-turn towards my car, drive by really slowly. Then they make their final turn and head back east. Now that's what really got me, was they were heading west. They made that U-turn, did all this stuff, then they went back east. So to me, the more I sat there and thought about it, they were going back to get their friends to come back for me, is the only way I can take that. I can't think of any other reason why someone would have done what they did at 1 o'clock in the morning on a road that you literally have to have a purpose to be on, because it's not going anywhere. And I'll actually share a link to the cemetery that I'm at right here. I'll share that in the pinned comment. So for anybody that wants to question what I'm saying, check that link out. Feel free to look all around that area and you'll see exactly what I mean. You put yourself there at 1 o'clock in the morning by yourself and have somebody doing that, and I guarantee you every one of you would have left too. In my mind, I saw them going and getting Daryl, Buck, and Cletus and coming back for me, you know? So, be that as it may, I'm really disappointed that, it takes an hour, a little over an hour to get out to that cemetery from where I live. And then I spent about 3 hours during the day walking around in the woods, finding all that stuff because I'd never actually been here before, so I didn't know what I was going to find or where to even look. But so that, I mean, that was almost 5 hours worth of my time in the morning, and then I went back that night, and it's about an hour and a half worth of, you know, drive out there, and then I got about 30 minutes of a video done, and then that happened. And I just couldn't trust going back to leave my car out there and go back in the woods. I mean, it's about a half a mile or so back into the woods, so if they did anything to my car, I wouldn't know. If they were waiting for me to come out of the woods, I wouldn't know. There was too many unknowns for me to continue. Maybe one day I'll be able to talk some people into going with me, but everybody seems to think I'm crazy when I say, hey, let's go out to the woods in the middle of the night. But that is my explanation for what happened. And I felt like I had to do this because even me watching it back was sort of like, what was going on there? But at the time, it was what was going on, but at the same time, there's nothing good that could have been going on out of that. I don't see that being a good situation at all. If it was somebody that didn't want me at the graveyard, they could have yelled as they drove by. I mean, I don't know. It just didn't seem like a very good situation to stay and find out what happened next. So I cut out. That's why the video ends where it does. But I'll let you guys see the rest of it. And thank you again for all your love and support.
Curse.
What is this jerk off doing? Just so you know, I'm not effing around. Out here in the middle of nowhere. What in the absolute hell was that? It sounded like he threw something at my car or something. I swear it sounded like he threw something at my car. Or popped one of my tires or something. I don't know what the hell that was. Freaking doing donuts in the middle of the road coming up to my car. Like, I don't like that at all. If you guys knew how far back in the woods I am, I don't like that at all. Like, it makes me not comfortable at all to go back to that ghost town and leave my car out here. I honestly don't even know what to think right now. this road doesn't really go anywhere. This is sort of like a bypass road that people use to go to schools and stuff like that, or to get through in between different trails for the citrus, Withlacoochee citrus track. So to have some guy, and I don't know, maybe it picked up on here, maybe the music was too loud and you couldn't hear it, but he drove by and somewhere down here made a really aggressive U-turn because I could hear it, slammed on his gas, came flying up here, up next to my car, and then started doing like turns. Like you can almost still see. Yeah, like right here. I don't know if it picks up on camera, but you can see how he like swerved through here. I mean, he drove right up next to my car. You can see the tracks right there. He was right there next to my car. Yeah. So this tire mark right here, and this was him doing donuts next to my car. Here's another one. And then he did another one up there. I hope that was just kids screwing around, but I don't know. My mind thinks that it was somebody wrestling with the fact of should they try to kill me or not. Because quite honestly, nobody would know anything about it. So I'm going to wait a few minutes, see what happens. Maybe take some more pictures while I wait. But I do not feel comfortable at all right now, so we'll see what happens.